first episode of the Gridiron Report, Tri-Cities Division. I'm Tone Colston, and I'm really excited about this year's 7-on-7 season up here in the Tri-Cities. We've got a really good group. It's year one. We've got a great league down in Knoxville, Tennessee that has been going on for 6 years. Was able to reach out to some really good guys, Ryan Witten and Jeremy Boskin of Tri-Cities Football and Witten Huddle. They contacted me, late in the football season last fall, and really just talked about wanting to provide what we're doing in Knoxville to the Tri-Cities area. They've been part of the Knoxville League a few times, bringing teams down and participating. Been people we've talked to over the years about the league and things like that, and really just believed in the process, believed in kind of the blueprint of how we do it in Knoxville, and we're super excited to make this happen in the Tri-Cities area. We started the league off this year. I mean, we've got 16 teams, so that shows a lot of just how 7-on-7's grown, to be able to start it and have this in the first year. Other than that, I know you guys are excited about it as much as I am. Let's start talking about the teams and really let's talk about the league a little bit and kind of how we run the league. Been year one, everybody's brand new, so there's a few things that we do with the league that we really want to mirror that we think brings value and brings fun to the experience. This year we'll have 2 divisions. We'll have a high school division, and then we'll have the middle school division. So basically 6th through 8th grade, 9th through 12th grade. As we do the league, we keep stats and standings. Stats and standings has always been a fun thing toward, anything really, but for the Gridiron League, it's been really fun just keeping up with it, because 7-on-7 people really don't keep up with stats, and it's fun to, see these young 12-year-old guys, 6th, 7th graders throwing touchdowns, 40, 50 touchdowns a season, down in the Knoxville area. So really looking forward to that. We do Player of the Week awards. Each week we'll give a Gunslinger of the Week, a Go-Getter of the Week, and a Ball Hawk of the Week for each age division. And we also try to do some weekly highlights. Everybody's about social media nowadays, and if nobody sees it, you didn't really do it, right? So we try to get the highlights out there so we can use it as promotion and let you guys see how we're doing, what we're doing, and hopefully some people that aren't participating, as of week one, sees what we're doing and comes out and gets a few weeks with us this season, and prepares for next season knowing that they have a good product here in the backyard. One thing we'll go ahead and do, we always start the show off with some highlights, so let's go ahead and get into the highlights from this past week, week 1, and check it out. What's up, guys?
I just want to rock. Body area.
You ready to play? Yes, sir. You guys ready? Yeah.
Damn!
MC, make another hit.
Whoa! This ain't what you want. Project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. Ha! 1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna. I just wanna rock. I just wanna rock. I just wanna. I just wanna rock. Body out of ya. Shorty got. That's my heart. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, thought the 5.
MC, make another hit.
Whoa! This ain't what you want. Project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
pretty excited about the highlights. Week one, you're always worried about how things are going to go and what type of product you're going to get. And after watching the highlights and talking to Coach Witten and Coach Boskin, I know we've got a great product in the Tri-Cities area. It looks like the team showed up. They played the way we want them to play. One of the things, we talk about when it comes to gameplay that we've kind of eliminated, here in the Knoxville area, and we want to start, in the Tri-Cities area from week one is the unsportsmanlike, just the extra stuff that we see on social media that really isn't part of the game. It's really just part of the 7-on-7 circuit of throwing people on the ground, fighting, and the unsportsman stuff in the end zones. And I really appreciate the Tri-Cities groups. Even the Knoxville groups had a great week this week on this. Just playing the game, coming out, having fun, and been appreciative of just having this opportunity. But looking at the highlights, we got some players, some big time players. We'll talk about them here in a few minutes. So each week we'll always start with the middle school group, and then we'll work to the high school group when we're talking about league standings and stats. So let's go ahead and get into it. I know everybody's been waiting. Let's get into the middle school standings and introduce the teams and see who's playing with us this year. So taking a look at our middle school league standings, got 7 teams in the league this first year, which I think is a pretty good number. We've got Asheville Extreme, we've got Witten Gray, the Immortals, which is a team out of Virginia. We've got TC Gold, Witten Black, Red Rage, which is a team out of Sullivan East area, and TC Blue. The TC Gold and Blue teams are the Tri-City football teams, and the Witten Gray and Black is the Witten Huddle teams. The way teams kind of rounded it out for this first week, we got 3 teams sitting at the top at 2-0. We got Asheville Extreme, Witten Gray, and the Immortals. Took on their 2 teams and pulled out W's. I'm sure they're going to play against each other this weekend, so it'll be good to see what the standings look like next week. We got TC Gold sitting at 1-1. Then we've got Witten Black, Red Rage, and TC Blue all sitting at 0-2. I'm sure things will change. We got 6 weeks to get this thing through and see who takes more wins and losses. But excited about week one. I think everybody had a great time. And one of the other fun parts about this thing, let's check into the stats and see who our top quarterbacks are for our middle school program. We've got a handful of quarterbacks that put on a show this past weekend. Enjoyed watching the highlights, saw some nice throws, small windows, saw some guys zip some things in, but sitting at the top of the list right now, we got 2 guys tied with 6 touchdowns, JJ Reynolds with the Immortals and Tayshawn Wadsworth with Asheville Extreme. And then we've got Bryson Blevins with 5 with Witten Gray, and Jackson Price at 2 with Witten Black. Look forward to seeing how these guys run the score up, see how many they finish it with the season. And just look forward to watching them grow and learn the game. I'm curious to see who their receivers are that made the plays. So let's go ahead and move on to the receiver stats and see who the go-getters of the week are. We've got a good group of receivers, and it looks like the ball was spread out pretty evenly in this division. No one's really sitting on top. We've got the Immortals with Gavin Johnson and Jaden Justice sitting at 1 and 2. Tied with Aldo Cordell and Ryan Jones from Witten Gray. We've got Caden Whiteside from Asheville Extreme. And then we got 10 other guys with 1 touchdown each. So, looks like 15, 17 guys caught touchdowns this past week. And, it's going to be hard to check and see who stands out. But I tell you one thing about the stats that we take, you guys have kept up with our conversions and that sort of thing. And when you're playing 2 games per week, a lot of times the stats will be evened out. So those conversions are really going to help on picking players of the week. When we're looking at the defensive side of the ball, one guy stood out far enough to set himself apart and be number 1. It's Zion Akima. I know I'm probably butchering that name, but I'll get it right as we go because I know somebody will let me know. Finished with 3 interceptions, though, with Asheville Extreme. Big day. It's hard to get 3 interceptions in 2 games. And then you got Ryan Jones with Witten Gray and Kevian Holloway with 2 at Asheville Extreme. Then, got 8 more guys with 1, so going to have a pretty competitive group right there. I'm a quarterback guy, so I prefer to see less interceptions, more touchdowns, but, it just is what it is. All right, guys, let's get right to it. Let's go to Players of the Week. We've got Week 1 Middle School Player of the Week. We got Gunslinger of the Week is what we're going to start off with. We got 2 guys that did really well. Started off with 6 touchdowns. You got JJ Reynolds with the Immortals, and then you got Tayshawn Wadsworth with the Asheville Extreme. The separator were the conversions. Both guys went 2-0. JJ had 3 conversions and Wadsworth had 2. So this week, week 1 of the Gridiron 7-on-7 League Tri-Cities Division, Gunslinger of the Week is going to go to JJ Reynolds. Congratulations, and look forward to the rest of the season. When it comes to our receiver of the week, we had 5 guys that had 2 touchdowns, and went through the stats, checked it out. We really only had one other guy that had the 2 touchdowns and a conversion, and that's Witten Gray's Ryan Jones. Congratulations, go-getter of the week, Ryan Jones from Witten Gray. When it comes to the secondary, Zion Akima left it 3 interceptions, top of the list, nobody else with him. Standing alone, he's going to take home the Ball Hawk of the Week award for the middle school division. Congratulations, Zion and Asheville Extreme on that. Big weekend, had a lot of fun. Let's just move on to the high school division and see how everything stacked up. So looking at the high school division and standings, let's go ahead and get to know the teams that are participating this year. We've got top to bottom, Asheville Extreme. We got TC Blue, which is Tri-Cities Blue, Witten Black, Witten Gray, which is Witten Huddle. Red Dogs is a team based out of Cherokee. The Red Rage, based out of Sullivan East. TC Kings are based out of Dobbins Bennett. The Pirates are based out of Virginia. And TC Gold is Tri-Cities Gold. Looking at the standings after week 1, you got Asheville Extreme and TC Blues starting off fast with a 2-0 start. And then right there in the middle, which is always good, we've got 5 different teams, Witten Black, Witten Gray, the Red Dogs, Red Rage, and Tri-Cities Kings sitting at 1-1. And then, of course, we've got the Pirates and TC Gold sitting at 0-2. Look forward to this weekend, teams mixing it up, seeing who moves up and moves down in the rankings. Of course, it's not all about rankings. It's kind of just the fun part about this. Teams are really just trying to work to get better. But when we're talking about how things go down, we got to have something to talk about. Let's go ahead and move into the quarterbacks and the stats and standings on that end and see who threw the most touchdowns. I'm really excited about this group of quarterbacks. I recognize a few names, but I hadn't seen them play in a while, so it's going to be fun to catch up, see these guys, get to know them, and watch them do their thing this spring. Let's start from the top and work our way down. We got 2 guys sitting at number 1 with 7 touchdowns. We got Rhett Slagle of Witten Black and Mike Reese of TC Blue. Second place, we got Witten Gray's Zeth Mullins with 6 touchdowns. We got a tie with 5 touchdowns between Asheville Extreme's Ricky Tolbert and Red Rage's Peyton Lingerfeld. With 4 touchdowns, we got Landon Jeffers with the Red Dogs. We've also got Drew Ferguson from the Extreme with 3 touchdowns. And TC Kings number 6, I'll get his name next week, with 2 touchdowns. So fast start, lots of touchdowns. Saw in the highlights, Asheville Extreme, had 8 touchdowns between their 2 quarterbacks and, had a big weekend. But, you got 2 guys sitting at the top, Rhett Slagle, Mike Reese, probably vying for the Gunslinger of the Week here in a few minutes as we talk about it. But, other than that, let's have a great season. Let's stack the numbers up. Somebody's going to get to 50 before it's over with, and that's going to be the fun part of, just watching this thing happen. And that's why the stats are so much fun. So let's look at the receivers, see how these guys stacked up and see who the top go-getters of the week are. Got a couple guys sitting at the top, and then a slew of guys sitting, tied at second place, and then a ton of guys sitting at third. When you're looking at it, the top 3 guys, Jay Avery from Asheville Extreme, Eli Blevins from Witten Black, and Logan Lester at TC Blue all finished up with 3 touchdowns for the weekend. And then sitting at 2, you got Ty Johnson, Jeriah Griffin, Justin Whalen, Corbin Leisure, Chase Bailey, Luke Whaley, Ian Mathis, Toby Baker. And then what I said about the other league was, we got 15 guys tied with 1 touchdown each. Says we had a ton of guys. We had over 25, nearly 30 guys catch touchdowns this weekend in the first season. And I think that's what it's really about. I think that's what's going to make this thing fun is people in the Tri-City area is going to realize how much work, how much fun the kids are going to have playing 7-on-7 and just how many balls they're going to catch and throw and defend. And hopefully it's going to just up the level of the kids that participate to where, they get a positive benefit out of it and have a great testimonial on their off-season work and all that good stuff. But let's move on to the defensive leaders. Had a handful of guys get interceptions. 2 guys stood out. We got Ty Johnson at Asheville Extreme and Jeriah Griffin at Witten Gray. Both finished with 2 interceptions. And then we had 10 more guys finish with 1. So, there's quite a few interceptions thrown. I guess that's 14 interceptions thrown for the weekend. Let's tighten up quarterbacks. Same thing I told the Knoxville guys, week 1, kind of start figuring it out. Week 2, start picking them apart a little better. And then as the weeks go in, just continue to progress and run the score up. Let's move on through and talk about the players of the week for week 1. All right, guys, moving on into players of the week in the high school division. We'll start off with Gunslinger of the Week. We got two guys that finished the weekend with 7 touchdowns. TC Blues' Mike Reese, Whitten Black's Rhett Slagle. Slagle ended up having 3 conversions on the weekend, and Reese had 0. So, week 1, Gunslinger of the Week, we're going to go with Rhett Slagle, Whitten Black. Congratulations. When it comes to Ball Hawk of the Week, or actually Go-Getter of the Week, we've got 3 guys tied. We've got Whitten Black's Eli Blevins. We've got Extremes' Jay Avery. And TC Blues' Logan Lester. Those 3 guys caught 3 touchdowns apiece. But one guy got 1 conversion, actually, and it was Whitten Black's Eli Blevin. Actually didn't do that on purpose, but Whitten Black, Go-Getter, and Gunslinger gets Players of the Week this weekend. Big weekend for those guys. Like I said, there's a lot of guys right there nipping at their toes, tied up. Just got to keep performing, man. When it comes to Defensive Back of the Week, Ball Hawk of the Week, we've got 2 guys tied. We've got Extremes' Ty Johnson, and then we've got Whitten Gray's Jeriah Griffin. Both those guys caught 2 interceptions, and it was really difficult to kind of figure out who's going to win this one, to be honest with you. They both had 2 touchdowns on offense, and then when it goes to, just the defense, the Extremes defense with Ty Johnson dominated. They only gave up a few points over the weekend, so we're going to give Ty Johnson the Ball Hawk of the Week for week 1. I know Jeriah Griffin, he's played in Knoxville a few times, so I'm sure we'll see his name pop up a few more times this week, or this year anyways. So, but congratulations, Ty Johnson, Asheville Extreme, Ball Hawk of the Week. Really had a good weekend this week, all the Player of the Week stuff and everything, it's fun and all, but, really just excited and happy to have you guys playing 7-on-7, what I feel like is the right way in the Tri-Cities area, just like we're doing down here in Knoxville. Glad to have you guys out. Really appreciate the coaches and players, the referees, everybody that shows up, because between Whitten, Boskin, and myself, we can just provide you guys an opportunity to play. But the execution of it, the gameplay, how we perform, week in and week out is really dictated on you guys. And we just, ask that you keep coming in weekly, compete hard, coach hard, and, respect your teammates and respect the opponents, and just have fun, man. We're going to turn this thing into something big. I can imagine here in a year or two, we're going to have, 25, 30 teams plus, and, just really provide Johnson City, Tri-City area with a great opportunity to compete and have fun, right there in the backyard, like I said earlier. But other than that, that's Gridiron Report week 1. Look forward to week 2, and we'll see you guys playing tomorrow morning.